Welcome to Unit 10, Day 4, where you are measuring to the nearest half and quarter inch. This means you will need a ruler today. Now, here's the thing. This is similar to your rulers. Most of the time, you'll have rulers where you're measuring in inches. So 1 to 2, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Now, there are notches in here, and these represent fractions. So, if you look at this, there's one in the middle that's the longest. That is the half mark. So this line in the middle is a half. So I have a half, I have 1. I have 1.5, and then 2, and continue, and so on. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Remember how we have to decide and we look at things for fourths? Where you break it up 1, 2, 3, 4 for your fourths. Oh, sorry, I did that in thirds. Ah, I forgot one line. Where you do this into fourths. So you start off with 0, you get to 1, you have your half, and then you need 2 more. Now, you can do this by looking through your eyes. Most of us can figure it out. We want to go halfway between this and the half, and you'll have 4. Halfway between half and 1, you'll have 3/4. 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2, so we don't usually use that. We'll usually say 1/2. So then if that's the case, this would be 1/4. This would be 3/4. Your own should look fairly similar to this. If you keep that in mind, that is how you measure it using your inches. Using your inches here. Might be good for you to jot it down, might be good for you to remember and come back to this on occasion. Keep that in mind though. Okay? Now, when we are doing this, we will have problems similar to this. And the ruler down here is split up. So what they've done is they've gotten rid of all these other little lines, and they've just put the main ones that you need. You have your 1, then you have your half, which is longer, and then you have your 1/4 and 3/4 lines, which are slightly shorter. Okay? This image is slightly different. I wanted to show it to you with your ruler so you could see how they are similar and how it works. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is take this problem. Keisha needs 3.5-inch piece of ribbon. How long is the ribbon to the nearest half inch? Now, when you do this, you line it up with a 0. So what she did is she lined up the end with the 0. Oops, not a perfectly straight line. She lined up the end with the 0, laid it flat, and then goes down the other end to see where it is. Now, that's not a perfect spot. So what we're doing is we're getting to the nearest half inch. So what we're doing is going back to rounding. So if we look at the nearest half inch, this means we're going to be looking at these. You always want to keep in mind your whole numbers too. So if we look, what is the nearest half inch? The nearest half inch is this one, right here. So if I look at this, I would know that I'm at 3, and the nearest half inch would be here, so it'd be 3.5. So this is about 3.5 inches. So she has a ribbon that is long enough. It's a little bit longer, which is fine, but she has a ribbon that's about long enough. I know you've used rulers before, so it shouldn't be anything new. Cameron must measure a cricket for her science report. How long is the cricket to the nearest quarter inch? Okay, so we're looking to the nearest quarter inch. Well, just like usual, you line up your cricket with the 0. And we lined it up as best we could. It's a cricket living thing. Its leg probably went out very long. And then we find the end of the cricket, which is right here, and we go straight down. All right, now we need to look. We're looking at quarter inches. Technically, if we're counting quarters, this one fits too, but this is more for the ½ inch as well. So, which one is it closest to? If we look at this yellow line here, it is closest to this, which 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, we know would be 3/4. Ooh, you can barely see that. We know it would be 3/4. How much? We went past the 1, but we're not past the 2. So it's 1 3/4 inch. Inches long. So the cricket, I had to make it small. The cricket is 1 3/4 inch long. Hi. When you're measuring today and doing your activity for this, you will need a ruler and you will need to be able to measure to the quarter inch, to ½ inch. But we also want to keep in mind these two. Centimeters and decimeters. So centimeters, you've measured with, or at least you've seen them before. We've used this before. Centimeters can be abbreviated into cm. It's a metric unit of length. And it's about the width of your finger. I said about. That's not necessarily a complete fact. So you want to make sure to use your centimeters on your ruler for certain to make sure that they are accurate. A decimeter, you won't hear people say very much, but it's good to note. A decimeter can be abbreviated into dm. It's a metric unit of length. 1 decimeter equals 10 centimeters. So 1 decimeter is 10 centimeters long. Look at that. Learning new facts. Your activity today has you, in order to measure with centimeters, it's exactly the same as with inches, only they're smaller. And with centimeters, for the activity today, you're not quite, or challenge yourself, you could try and find the nearest half in centimeters. But we're looking at inches. We want you to keep in mind what centimeters are. If you want to challenge yourself, which I highly suggest, try measuring it in centimeters and getting to the closest half and the closest quarters. Okay?